it seemed like Kavir started the season playing a lot of Delta package, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like he's much more into the base defense now. Is he kind of, I guess, what led to that? Is it just kind of knowledge of the system? How did he get that role?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, at the beginning of the season, Kavir played a lot of the third down delta. First game of the season against Duquesne, I think he was in the 20s for snap count. Then Central Michigan, then I think it died down a little bit versus West Virginia. That was his lowest snap count. But when you get transfers and new guys into a system, it takes time just to develop and get everything, correlated first, second down, and third down in that. And I think the easiest way is getting guys out there first from a third down standpoint, then as it continues to elevate from first and second down. But also, we had some injuries and banged up. Javon went down in Louisville. I think it was play 5, play 6. And Kavir was ready for the opportunity. I think he made the most of it. I think he did a really good job against Louisville. He had about 3 open field tackles against the wide receiver number 5, Lacey, I think it is, which is very talented, quick twitch wide receiver slot right there. So he did very good, and his role just continued to expand from there. And I felt like last week he played strong against Boston College, just communication-wise and just doing well in general in the system of understanding and making sure everybody's on the same page.
How impressed have you been with your group and how they've handled the amount of injuries you guys have had to deal with?
That's a part of the game, right? Like always, players, you got to be ready for the opportunity. Your preparation is important. It doesn't matter if you're the first safety, the second safety, the third safety, or whatever it may be. Like those guys are always preparing, ready for their opportunity. And I think I've been fortunate to have a good group that prepares and they don't sulk or they're not out there enough. You talk about Kavir. Kavir the week before against West Virginia, his snap count was at 7. Then, like I say, play 5 against Louisville. He's out there for the next 83 plays, as well as 19 on special teams as well. So I think that's a testament to those kids of who they are and what their preparation is. So there's been a little bit of moving pieces. Cruz went out in the second half or the last 2 minutes in the first half, and now Josh played more snaps. And we moved some pieces around. Allen Bryant was in more on third down as well, which was great experience for him last game. So I think it's just a group. I think it's a good group of guys, and I just think their preparation, they prepare the right way, and they're ready for the opportunity when it's presented.
Obviously,
How would you evaluate Josh's play so far?
I think Josh, when it comes to just ability and everything, he's a very talented football player. But obviously things up here, they move a little bit faster and things are a little bit different. So I think with his snaps in there, I think he's done well. Against West Virginia at the end of the game, he came in there and actually made a really, really good check at the end of the game that put us in a good position to have an opportunity for a sack, and that was because of the coverage check that he made. So I think you see continued growth out of Josh. I think at the same time, too, as a coach, I think I'm handling things better of what can be placed on his plate and what can't, and what's too much positionally, movement-wise, from position to position. I know sometimes you think, it's 2 safeties, but there is differences between the field and boundary and different calls and different things that they do, as well as the Delta Star, which he does play as well. So I think I've handled it better as a coach as well, to take some stuff off his plate to allow him to play even faster in the football player that he's capable of, because he's a very talented football player, as you guys heard throughout spring ball, fall camp, and everything from there. So we just got to continue to keep putting a little bit more on his plate at his pace, and continue to get him out there.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
Obviously, there's some familiarity there with Castellanos. What have you seen from him this year, and what are the challenges of defending him?
Whew, he's fast, huh? That is a quick guy. So we faced him back in, that was 2023, I think, here on our field that we faced him. He was a talented kid back then. He's a talented kid still. He's got some good arm talent. He can put the ball out there. He's got some big targets out there. And number 0, Deuce Robinson. So, he can put it out there to him up, some back shoulder stuff and that. And the biggest thing I think he presents is is just the ability to be able to extend plays. You look at it against Virginia 2 weeks ago. At the end of the game, there was a 3rd and 7 that he extended, and they ended up scoring on it. Then there was a 4th and 11 to tie that ball game to push it into overtime that he extended it and threw a little comeback to the tight end wheeling out, on the sideline, and that's off his feet and being able to extend that play. So we have to do a good job in our different zones and coverages of making sure that we latch on to receivers and we don't get lazy for a second, because that ball can come at you anytime. He might be going that way, and that ball can still be thrown that way. All right, so you can never get lazy. So if you say anything, I mean, his feet, and not to discredit his arm by any means, because he has a talented arm and he can put velocity on that football. But I think the biggest thing is just him being able to extend those plays with his feet and that ball to be able to come at you at any moment.
Are those rushing yards coming more from scrambles than design?
I mean, they do have QB runs. There's a lot of things that they do. I couldn't give you the exact stats of where is it scramble, is it this? But, you'll see him drop back and some things spread open, and boom, 35 yards later against Alabama and different guys, even Miami. Last week, late in that 4th quarter, he had one. But they do have design quarterback runs, come down in that red zone. They like to put the ball in his hands, pull it out the back door, and just let him do some things on his own. So it's a mix between both.
When you're facing a guy like Juice Robinson, 6'6", how do you coach your DBs to handle that size?
I think you just have to have understanding. You got to do a good job just with techniques of how we play, of playing back through, punch in the pocket, being strong. You got to be strong and physical. You're probably not going to win, some jump balls with a guy like that. But from a technical standpoint, technique-wise, just being able to punch the pocket, be strong, violent finishes with our hook and swats, how we throw shoulders through and stuff like that. I think that's the biggest thing. And those guys working those techniques after practice to make sure we're strong and sound on that.
We met with Pat before Boston College. He told us that the safeties have the potential to be players of the game, just shutting down a pass offense that was ranked number 4 in the country, eye discipline, things of that nature. And you guys did do that. I think a vast majority of the passing yards came on that final drive at garbage time. Just what allowed you to be so effective against the pass? What did you think of your guys against Boston College?
I think against Boston College, we did some things differently. And, throughout the week, those guys were up there, and they're always up there a lot defensively. I think they do a very good job. But I think we put a lot on them of trying to get in the perfect call, because we understood what was coming at us and what Boston College was trying to accomplish in their pass game. I think the kids had a really good understanding of what Boston College was trying to accomplish. So that's the thing. If you understand that, then you understand how to make our checks and what we're trying to do to stop them. And I think the kids did a really good job with that. So I think that's the biggest thing. And, we were able to change some things and give Boston College some different looks, which I think, might have struggled with a little bit. But I think that's the biggest thing, is just how those kids went about the week and how we were allowed to implement that game plan and what we were able to do on Saturday, and they were able to execute. And I think our guys executed at a very high rate against Boston College last week.
I know Shadarian Harrison had an interception, but most of the picks have come from the linebackers.
Yes.
Have there been a lot of opportunities for the secondary to come up with plays like that?
There's been some. I know against Duquesne, we had that one of those first 3rd downs with that seam ball with Cruz coming from the backside. I think there's been about 2 where we are able to get hands-on and not completely finish that out. But besides that, it's been one hands, get on the ball, and just good, strong finishes. Then there has been some great interceptions. I'll tell you what, those backers are athletic. I don't know if I've ever seen a linebacker catch an interception, 360, land, and sprint 70 yards later and make 3 people miss. So those guys are very talented, very athletic. They do a good job of getting to their drops, and they close space fast. So there's some windows that QBs might think they have. Then before you know it, Kyle Lewis closes that window. Biles closes that window. And Braylon Lovelace, who I don't think always gets enough credit for his athleticism and what he does, which he was a phenomenal running back returner in high school as well. So those guys are very athletic, and they've made the most of their opportunities, and they've struck at a high rate of finishing when those opportunities have presented at the linebacker core.
I know this defense always wants to stop the run, but what do you think is going so well for you guys this year?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's number one. Like, if you come in here and you look at our objectives defensively, like, boom, stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. And it is important because when you're able to stop the run, now you're opening up guys for us to be able to put our ears back and rush that passer or blitz and do some different things pass-wise. So it's always important to make sure we are stopping that run. And from a mentality standpoint, like, you don't want guys bleeding that run on you or leaning on you and just being able to steal those yards. But, yeah, that will never change with that. But I think it does allow us to do some different things in the back end. And obviously, when you look at it, if you ever see a team, they pass the ball 25 times coming into the game, they're probably going to pass the ball 35 versus us. Those pass numbers are going to go up because of how we're structured out and how we play. But we'll always say it, those are the DBs that we look for. We look for guys with an edge. We look for guys that want to be put in those situations and play one-on-one. And I think you guys can see we've had a lot of success with guys at the next level after they left here and being able to play on Sundays and sustain a career on Sundays as well.
From a defensive standpoint, what did you see during spring ball and during training camp from Mason Mitchell?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
From a defensive standpoint, what did you see during spring camp and training camp from Mason Mitchell?
From my perspective, the biggest thing about Mason, just from my perspective, just the way he carries himself. Like, just Mason has an energy to him. Just from my perspective, I think Mason has an energy to him that just pulls guys in that they want to follow. You know what I mean? And I think he has a great ability to lead, and I think it's a natural ability. I think it's just a natural ability of him as a leader, and that's one thing you noticed early on when he had all the freshmen. Like, they're doing walkthroughs up at the bridge on Forbes, and he's directing that. So that's a big deal out of a freshman coming in, and even last week, I'm in here, and you see him getting all these guys in here at 6:30 last Wednesday, so today. So getting all those guys up here for extra film together to watch on the same page with him. So his leadership ability, just take out any, he's got good arm talent, he can run around, he can make guys miss, like all those things. He's talented. That's why we offered him a scholarship, and he was a quarterback we brought in. But that ability to be a difference maker as a person and a leader, I think that's what separates Mason just from people in general. So I'm a big fan of Mason. He's a good kid.
Kavir, I'm sure whenever you came here, you were probably aware of guys like Bruce and Javon, and you would be in the mix, but not necessarily a starter, but one snap away. What you were sold on, is that kind of what you're feeling right now?
Yeah, I just wanted to come compete, come play at a Power 4 program. And, coming up from the FCS level, all you want to do is play ball and show that you can do it. So I just want to come up here and get my name out there.
What have the past couple of weeks been like for you? What has changed for you since you've kind of taken on a larger snap count, a larger workload, and a larger role in the defense?
I'm just trying to help the defense as much as possible. Javon and Cruz, they're great players, really smart, know the game. So just trying to learn and do anything I can to help the team.
How long did it take you to feel really comfortable with the playbook and everything that the coaches were asking you to do?
I feel like I'm a pretty smart guy, so not that long, but really to get comfortable, probably after spring ball, after the summer, getting in the extra reps with the guys, especially just learning from those guys who've been here, especially the corners too, just getting on the same page as them. So, it's a time thing.
Hunter Doozy has talked a lot about your tackling. It's been pretty evident in the games as well, but what are some of the specific things that allow you to be successful in that area?
I just feel like I have great coaching at my last school, great coaching here as well, and Coach Sanders, who just talked. I feel like we really pride ourselves on tackling, so I just think with, doing the reps in practice, doing our tackling circuit, I feel like that has helped a lot.
How do you approach this opportunity to play at Florida State, ranked team against a quarterback who's put up some big numbers?
I feel like, they're a great team, great offense, great quarterback, they have weapons. But we approach it just like any other day. It's just another game for us. So I feel like, with the most respect, they're a great team, but we're also a great team as well.
What stands out about their quarterback, Castellanos?
You guys have watched the film. He's fast, twitchy, he can throw the ball. So he's a great player. I love to play against him.
You guys have had to deal with some banged up guys, but pretty seamlessly have had guys come up and fill those spots. What is it about your group that allows you guys to do
I feel like we're pretty close. First of all, we have a great defensive coordinator in Coach Bates, and that just stems down to Coach Sanders getting us right. I feel like he allows us to be ourselves and play like ourselves, and it just puts us in great positions in order to make those plays.
We heard a lot about Josh Carrier during training camp about how he's impressing people. What have you seen from him as of late? Because he's probably logging more snaps than he had at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, Josh is a crazy athlete. He's smart, really fast, athletic, gets his hands on the ball. So he's just going to be a great player. And like I said, whenever our name is called, our number is called, we're going to be ready.
Same question, but with Allen Bryant, just a young guy who's also in the mix there at safety. Just what kind of sticks out about him, or what have you noticed just having him in the room?
Yeah, for one, he's really smart. He was here before me, so he kind of helped me learn how to play in the defense, and also his man coverage is really well. He has those long arms, and he knows how to get his hands on the ball. If you've seen, he had all the takeaway stickers in camp, so he's going to be a great player.
How close were you to that interception the other day? It kind of went right through your arms, right there.
Yeah. I was really close. I'm pretty mad at myself I didn't get that one.
What to you makes the linebacker so special?
They just play fast. They play fast. They know how to get the ball. It's just really, really fun playing with them, playing behind them. I put all my trust in them because I know they're going to make the play, and it allows me to do my job very well.
On Saturday, Jimmy Scott said that as soon as Mason showed up, he was doing stuff that he thought wasn't really normal for a freshman. When did you kind of notice that Mason was a guy who could maybe play at this level right away?
We came in together in January, so I just feel like for me coming in not knowing anybody, I thought he was kind of a veteran guy, and then when I found out he was a freshman, it kind of took me by surprise. I was like, wow, he's very mature for his age. I feel like a lot of guys respect him in the room. So yeah.